everybody. It's Weber this week. It's a dog in the kennel on a special day, a Wednesday. Happy June 1st, 2016. Today, a good buddy of mine is in talking education, Jeff Pirozzolo. The superintendent of the Auburn Enlarged City School District is in to talk about education and a whole lot more. We'll talk some sports later after the commercial break. And how about this weather? Good morning, everybody. It's great to be with you. Yes, we have a special day today because we originally booked Jeff on the 30th, which obviously was Memorial Day. I forgot about it. So did Jeff. But we got it all figured out, and we are here today. And Jeff, first off, thanks for coming in.
Dog, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And we're looking forward to talking about education. I got to get over a couple of things. First off, before we get to Jeff and talk education and his new job as the head of the Auburn City and Large City School District in Auburn, which is a major responsibility. Let's give credit here on the Weber Show this morning to a gentleman named William Ryan Jr. of Auburn, New York. Seneca Lake National Lake Trout Derby. How's this for a size of a brown trout? 18.49 pounder. How about that? William Ryan Jr. of Auburn, New York. So from yours truly and Jeff and Jimmy, kudos. I think he picked up like $5,000. He used to pay $5,000. And I hope that congratulations to William Ryan Jr. from the show. And I hope that that continues. That's been going on for a long, long time. I understand the gentleman that's been running it for decades is retiring. And I understand the city management team isn't interested in taking it over. I hope somebody steps forward and continues that tradition. It is sort of like part of the Finger Lakes fabric. Well, Jeff Pirozzolo is my special guest this morning. And Jeff, you just some time ago were given the assignment and landed the job as superintendent of the Auburn City and Large School District. Tell us a bit about yourself, where you were born, your education, and how you landed that job.
Well, all right, Doc. Thanks again. I grew up in Elmira, New York, and went to Elmira Free Academy, which is no longer there. They've combined with Southside High School, the Elmira Express now. From there, I went to Brockport, played a little football there, and got my degree in physical education. After I graduated college, I became a phys ed teacher in a couple of different areas. Fulton, I started my career in, and then I was in Clyde Savannah for 6 years. Went to Victor, and then I got my administrative degree and took a couple administrative jobs, and then I landed in Auburn 11 years ago. So I've been in Auburn for 11 years. First 2 years as an assistant principal at West Middle School, which unfortunately we do not have anymore, and actually we just sold it in January. And then I became the assistant superintendent. I was in that position for 9 years, and starting July 1st, I became the superintendent.
Now, did you have visions of becoming a superintendent? Was that a goal of yours, or was that just the pecking order based on your education and the way it was just different assignments that you had?
If you asked me a question 15 years ago, I would have said absolutely not. I actually went to get my administrative degree to be an athletic director in a bigger school district.
Okay.
When I was in Clyde Savannah, I was a phys ed teacher there. I was the athletic director. I was head varsity football coach, head varsity baseball coach, did modified basketball. Actually went to Victor to go take the football program over there. The football coach that was there, Jimmy Haw, ended up staying there. So as I got there, I became an assistant, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to go get my administrative degree, stay in the athletic realm, and became an assistant principal. And when I took that job on, it changed my whole outlook on education, and I wanted to be involved in the educational piece and with the children. And I started the building administratorship direction, and then I moved to district administration.
Now, I've never met your son, Gino. You talk about him at the card games that we play in every so often, and outstanding wrestler, outstanding athlete. Talk a little bit about him. Now, is that your only child, or you have other kids?
I have 3 children. My daughter, Taylor, is going to be a junior at Cortland next year. She's going into speech pathology. My son, Gino, is going to be a sophomore at Utica College. He is in the physical therapy program. He played football there this year. And then I have a 7th grader, Luca. Luca is at Auburn Junior High School, and he is doing really well there. It's his first year there. His class has about 325 kids. He's ranked third academically,
Nice.
and he played modified football, modified lacrosse, but he wrestled on the varsity wrestling team.
Now, Gino, who I've never met before, has quite the trademark as a wrestler. I mean,
He was actually more football.
More
It's
football.
Luca.
Okay.
Luca, my youngest, is
okay,
the big wrestler.
The big wrestler. I had the two confused, but one's got the passion for wrestling and one's got the passion for football.
Correct. Gino wrestled, played football, and played baseball for Minders.
Well, when you got the assignment and you landed the job, Jeff Pirozzolo is my special guest here on Weber this week. A special day, and hope you're enjoying the weather outside. I certainly would be thinking, when you landed the job, you're thinking, got to oversee 4,200 students and a whole bunch of teachers and a whole bunch of different staff levels. Intimidating to the degree that you took it upon yourself to say, "Wow, this is quite a responsibility."
Yeah, it is. You know, I guess when you get into education and you get into administration, the main reason you do is because you want to impact children.
Right.
And, as a building administrator, you're impacting the children in the building. Mm-hmm. When you become a district administrator, you're impacting all of the kids in the district.
Right.
So, that really ended up being my goal for the last 10 years is taking over a bigger school district so that we could have a bigger impact. And I will tell you, I love living in Seneca Falls. I recently just bought a house in Auburn. Sad to leave Seneca Falls, but Auburn is just a wonderful place. It's a great community, great kids. We have great staff there. Just proud as can be to be part of the Auburn Enlarged City School District and soon the community for Auburn as well.
Ironically, some board of educations, for example, Waterloo, did not mandate that their superintendent live in Waterloo. Obviously, the Auburn folks have a different view. They wanted you to come there and live. Your opinion on that? Good thing to move to where you're going to be superintendent, or does it make a big difference in your mind?
I think it does have a huge impact because as a superintendent, every year I have to go out with a new tax levy.
Sure.
So if I'm asking community members, taxpayers, to raise their taxes, I should be paying the taxes as well.
Gotcha.
So, I think we lead by example, and I think that more school districts should have their superintendents because you've got to be part of the community. For the past 9 years, I get back to Seneca Falls late at night because I'm there. I go to events. I go to activities.
Sure.
Taking over as a superintendent, I'm getting home even later at night.
Oh, I can imagine.
So you really have to be part of the community. I do a lot of grocery shopping. I get gas. I try to do as much business as I can in Auburn because that's where my paycheck comes from. But we really, really should live there and should be paying the taxes as I'm asking all the other taxpayers to do.
Being a graduate of Minders, I think you needed 65 to get out, and having a 63, and the teachers got together and decided Harold Weber is leaving the facility. I can't speak of the academia, but it would make no sense to me why there wouldn't be a board of education. I'm not picking on Waterloo, but I can't fathom for the life of me why a board who you report to, right, school board, why they would ever not mandate that the person live in that community. It doesn't make any sense to the common person.
Well, and I'll tell you, Doug, that the issue is that there's not a ton of people that want to take on superintendent's jobs.
Okay.
So you get you hire a superintendent that's going to live and work in Waterloo,
right?
And their spouse may be working. That person may be living in Rochester because the spouse may be working towards Buffalo.
Gotcha.
So sometimes it's very difficult. A lot of people that apply for superintendent's jobs, they won't even apply or they'll turn it down when there's a residency requirement because of other family obligations. So, there are reasons why people don't have residency requirements, school districts.
Yeah.
Again, for me and for Auburn, it works well.
I would think, to your point, if you're in a store in Auburn, and hey, there's our new superintendent. You shake hands with him, hey, I live over here. The camaraderie, you, the head, meets the common person that's in the school district that is being asked to pay a tax rate based on what you come up with, and you're and your team makes a lot of sense to me. It makes common sense.
Yeah, you know, and as a superintendent, I work 24/7.
Sure.
I need to be accessible to everybody 24/7. So if that means I'm going to Wegmans or Tops to get my groceries,
Bingo, yeah.
I have to be there to be approachable so that people can ask me questions. And, I get so much work done every morning. I like to try to start out in the buildings.
Right.
That's where the staff can ask me questions.
Sure.
So they don't have to email me. I much rather talk face-to-face with people
Exactly.
than through emails. So you get a lot of work. Visibility is a huge part of the job.
Absolutely. Jeff Pirozzolo is joining us this morning. Jeff just getting the assignment as the new superintendent, superintendent of the Auburn Enlarged City School District. Jeff, before we take our commercial break, a couple of quick topics, if you may. As I thought about this interview with you, there has been a term that is used regarding teacher security, staff security, called tenure. And it's been a controversial element, as you know better than anybody, relative to the argument on one side saying teacher A has been with the school district, maybe it's yours, maybe it's Minder's, whatever, for X number of years. They get, is it nominated for tenure or they get put up for consideration?
Yeah, they get approved for tenure by the Board of Education.
So let's say teacher A gets approved. The argument is that in a lot of cases, that person may not be as, excited about the position, kind of just doing the bare minimums, not really catching up in 21st century technology, et cetera, and it's very impossible to get rid of that person. Is that a fair statement? Is tenure a good thing or a bad thing?
And that is a great question. When you get into education, you should be getting into education for children.
Right.
Loving children, trying to have children become successful. Whether you're talking about a teacher, an administrator, I'd like to say 95% of our teachers and our administrators throughout the state are fantastic people that are there for children.
Right.
5% in anything that you look in, any job that you look
Agreed.
in, can be there for other reasons. Tenure, there was a law that changed tenure this year.
Okay.
So a tenure track is no longer 3 years, it's 4 years. APPR, the evaluation system, which is not a real functioning evaluation system right now, has given school districts some more opportunities to get rid of teachers that are not performing at a higher standard. As far as teachers, tenure, again, to me, as a teacher, tenure was never important. I knew what my job was. I was confident in the job I did.
Right.
And most teachers are. So, tenure is just a word to them. But to a school district, tenure is a commitment of a $2 million investment.
Right.
Because when teachers are in your school district, for 30 years,
right,
it is median average of $60,000.
Right.
That's $1.8 million. So we have to take it very seriously, and I put a lot of that job responsibility on our building administrators to make sure our principals are evaluating the teachers, to make sure it's not really a dog and a pony show when they go to evaluate them, to really get in those rooms as many times as you can to really make sure that the teacher is where Auburn wants our teachers, because we don't want to settle for mediocrity.
Right.
We want the best teachers for our best kids.
You mentioned recently, just a few seconds ago, regarding there's a way now to remove teachers that are not that good anymore or not up to speed, have lost something. But as you know better than anybody, the teacher unions are very tough as well. They protect their own, right?
Absolutely.
And I would think that if you move to do that, there's going to be a fight normally from the union side, and that could be litigation for quite a period of time.
Oh, absolutely. NYSET is one of the strongest unions in the state.
Right.
And they do protect their own.
Right.
And, I think that's why we're going to see some drastic changes with APPR. We have a new commissioner right now, and she's really doing a good job looking into it. The evaluation system's not fair.
Right.
We have some classrooms, we have a high poverty rate in Auburn. In some of our schools, buildings, our elementary schools, they have a much higher poverty rate than others. And so we have some teachers that are really working tough. We call them at-risk kids. I like to call them at-promise kids.
Right.
And, their classrooms can be a little bit more difficult. Well, it's tough to rate teachers on the same scale when you're looking at different students that you're teaching. So they really have to do a better job with the equity of APPR, because I want our best teachers working with our at-promise kids, because those are the kids that need more interventions than other ones.
That's great. Jeff Pirozzolo is my special guest, good friend, and we're talking about his role as superintendent of the Auburn Enlarged City School District over in Auburn, New York. And, of course, it's 9:45. We'll take our scroll of our great commercials and our great sponsors to make this show possible. When we come back, we'll talk a couple of sports topics, and we'll get to Jeff with a couple more questions after this commercial break. Cayuga Lake National Bank. Visit Bill Ryan and his team for all of your banking needs. Offices in Union Springs and Aurora, a fine sponsor of this show for over 30 years. DA Liquor on Bridge Street in Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her team will find the right spirit for you every time. When you stop in, tell Amy the dog sent you. Steve Wadhams and Wadhams Enterprises, your local employer of choice. Proud supporter of Weber This Week and local athletics. Fill out an application at wadhams.com. The Gould Hotel welcomes you to come out and enjoy the revitalization of this historic downtown Seneca Falls landmark. Every Wednesday is Ladies' Night with special price drinks and half-priced appetizers. Learn more at thegouldhotel.com. The Omen Theater on William Street in Lyons. See what's playing this week at omentheater.com. Located off New York State Thruway Exit 41, the McGee Diner has earned their reputation as a popular family restaurant, serving country, fresh, home-cooked meals daily. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and check out their menu at mcgeediner.com. Seneca Metals is an award-winning company that has earned a reputation of going above and beyond to protect the environment and support their community. As an EPA inspector once said, their operation is head and shoulders above the rest. Live, laugh, and eat well. It's the Italian way. It's also the Cicino's way. Cicino's is now offering online web ordering. Fast, easy, reliable, and secure. Order now using your mobile device, computer, or tablet. Located on Main Street in Waterloo, 401 Exchange Street in Geneva. Place your order today at Cicinos.com. The Seneca Falls Country Club. Awesome 18-hole layout, open to the public, and a 12-month payment plan for members. Come try to par the par 4 16, the toughest hole in Central New York. Check out SenecaFallsCountryClub.com. And the Newark Pilots of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, a minor league team with a major league ballpark. Season ticket packages available at NewarkPilots.com. And the Wilson Press in Seneca Falls. My good pal Rich Rickey and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Visit them online at wpress.com. Rich Rickey and Wilson Press, a fine sponsor of Weber This Week. Well, if you ask for ideal weather, give me a 10 out of a 10. This could be a 10 today. They're talking, 75, 76, sunny, beautiful, couple clouds, huh? Nice day to tee it up and play some golf, or my friend Jeff Pirozzolo's got to go back to work after this show. But, hey, if that voice you heard while we were playing the commercials was maybe somebody clearing their throat, it's Leslie Ullman, as her and her husband Bob, the owners of the Newark Pilot franchise of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League and part owners of the Geneva Redlegs. She's clearing her throat because, baby, it starts tonight. The Newark Pilots, who is one of our great sponsors and good friends of this show, and Jimmy and everybody else, they're on the road at Jamestown. So we wish them nothing but the best, to Leslie and to Bob and all of their staff. And they will have their home opener Friday night Home opener against who? Geneva, which is brand new in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. Talk about a great rivalry. Geneva, Newark, Victor. That's going to be awesome. That home opener will be Friday night, and the weather's supposed to be great as well. Myself and Mary are trying to get over there either Friday or Saturday. Saturday, the game goes back to Geneva, who will be hosting Newark. So we're going to try to get to one of those games. I'm just not sure exactly what night right now. But get out and support the Newark Pilots, the Geneva Redlicks, and all the teams of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. As I said before a million times on this show, I can't speak about McDonough Park in Geneva. I know they've made renovations, but you go to Coburn Park in Newark, it is a dream to go over there to watch a game. And Jeff and his family should check it out. Everybody should check it out. It's flawless. The concessions are great. Everything is perfect. The signage is not marred. It's just a great experience. So go to Newark, check out the Newark Pilots. You will not be sorry. It's very inexpensive, and it's a great night of baseball. And Newark does a great job. By far the best I've ever seen.
Go Auburn Double Days.
There you go, the Double Days. I love it.
There you are.
Hey, by the way, so just a reminder, before we get back to Jeff, I want to remind a couple of people regarding what we got coming up after, upcoming shows. We've got some good ones coming up before we go back to Jeff on a couple of topics. Yes, this is a special show on a Wednesday, but next Monday we will not have a show because our next guest is coming back from St. Louis. It'll be next Tuesday, the 7th of June. Airtime is 9:30, and it's a guy we'd like to get on the air. Are you kidding me? He is the Executive Vice President, General Manager. He's got more titles I can imagine. Jeff Babinski, in charge of the Del Lago Casino, the hotel, the entertainment center. He's going to be bringing staff in to oversee all these operations. Remember, they're going to open up February of next year, the casino. Jeff Babinski will be here live to talk about his role, and maybe he'll bring in one of his assistants. I'm not sure. We'll have him on next Tuesday, a special show talking Del Lago. His name is Jeff Babinski. And after that, on the 13th, a show that I'm really looking forward to, Megan Peter and Mark Sankiewicz are two assistant district attorneys for Seneca County. I am a court watcher, as I think I told Jeff before. Since I'm retired, I spend a lot of time in court. Thank God I'm not wearing the orange jumpsuit. But I spend time in court to see the proceedings. And these two folks do an amazing job for the victims, for the families that are, victimized by folks that want to break the law. And they're just two of that assistant district attorney's office. Megan Peter, young lady, along with Mark Sankiewicz, has been doing this for like 10 years. They'll be on the couch on the 13th. That will be a good show. I hope you check it out. Let's go back to Jeff, and Jeff Pirozzolo, our special guest this morning, talking education. He, of course, received the job, the Auburn Enlarged City School District, a few months ago. Jeff, you were talking about during the commercial break, you have a budget of how much over there at the Auburn?
$74 million.
And the thing that you were emphasizing, you wanted to expand your thoughts on regarding school aid and the fact that Auburn is, your area is not eligible for that enhanced payout?
Well, back about 6-7 years ago, when the state went to the gap elimination, it really, really hurt Auburn. We lost millions of dollars. If it wasn't for our legislators, Senator Nozzolio, Assemblyman Finch, Senator DeFrancisco, these gentlemen did such a great job advocating for Auburn, got us to at least be recognized as a high-need school district, which did bring more money. And so we started to get more gap elimination money the last couple of years. So this year, when they completely eliminated the gap elimination money, Auburn only got an extra $35,000.
It's not much. Yeah.
No, that doesn't even pay for half of a teacher.
Right.
So the issue that we face year after year is foundation aid. The state has a formula for foundation aid. If the state had followed the correct formula for the foundation aid, we would have gotten an extra $5.8 million this year. So over the course of since about 2011, we've lost $50 million in our school district. So, we one year back in 2010, we laid off 98 people. We closed West Middle School down. So we've taken some real hard hits. Sure. And this year I'm happy because Lisa Green, who's our business manager, was asked to be on the statewide business committee to really look at foundation aid and look at the formula so that we could see more equality. A lot of the high-need school districts, the Genevas, the Auburns, the Port Byrons, every year we lose more and more money. It seems like the wealthier school districts continue to get more money, while the high poverty-stricken school districts get less money. So I'm happy that Lisa's on that committee representing for Auburn as well as all the other small city school districts. And I've been named, as you know, Sunday. I'm going to Auburn or to Albany because I won't be able to be at poker on Sunday night. Because I've been asked to be on the board of directors for the Small City School District Association. So, again, and we go after equality for money as well for small city school districts.
What do you think? It's going to help you? You think you'll get some of that additional cash, or will it take a while?
Well, I mean, I think that the state needs to relook at everything they do when they're giving out state aid. Even though it looked like they were giving out billions of dollars, Auburn, we still had, we started with a $4 million deficit this year. We really looked at how to save money throughout the year. We got it down to about a $1.2 million deficit. We got about another $800,000 from the state, and so we had to cut another additional $300,000 before we went out for approval of our budget. But we've cut out all of our equipment. We've cut some teaching positions. We did not cut any teachers. We eliminated some through attrition. So, you know, again, our class sizes are still pretty high, 25 to 30 kids in every class. So, you know, we back when I started in 2005 as an assistant superintendent, we were around 17, 18, 19 kids. So we've gone up quite a bit. So,
well, as you could tell by the clock, I won't let you go without asking your opinion on the scenario that I was thinking about before I came in this morning. And that is Jeff Pirozzolo has been my guest here this morning. Hope you checked out the show and enjoyed it so far. But I want to get his opinion on a topic that is really dear to my heart. I see it. I hear it all the time. As a matter of fact, I saw it recently on ABC News. They were discussing the American student, and you certainly know that much better than anyone else, I would guess, as they were comparing America versus Japan and China, for example. They were saying that while we have very smart individuals in this country as students, and you certainly, your family obviously is a good example, and there's others that you know are very, very academic sound. And there's not to say we don't have intelligent kids in our school districts across the USA. The argument was made that they're not as smart on an average as Japan and Chinese kids are. The reason being is their school day is 12 to 14 hours. They're not asked to go to school. They're mandated to go to school. They don't get days off for teacher conferences. They don't get 2.5 months off for summer breaks. Our school days are not that long, comparatively speaking. So in a nutshell, I know I threw a lot at you with this scenario. Do you agree with that? Do you feel that America needs to step it up and maybe increase the school day, cut back some of the time off? What is your general opinion on it? Is that a fair argument to make?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to compare us with other countries because they have different pathways as well.
Okay.
You know, they have education pathways that their kids that excel academically go into.
Right.
The kids that aren't excelling go into more of a business pathway. I think you're going to see over the next few years, that's one charge that I'm doing in Auburn right now, is trying to create other pathways for kids' success.
Sure.
You know, the other issue, again, is not as time, but it's an ever-changing world.
Right.
With ever-changing world, we're still trying to teach the way we did 100 years ago. I think we have to adapt what we teach. It's a technological world. We've got to start creating, and we are doing that now. We need to continue to create different educational pathways for kids. And, you know, right now, I'm proud to say that when I started as an assistant superintendent, our graduation rate was around a 69%. We are at an 80.4% now.
Great.
So we've gone up over 11% in the last 8 years. And we've got to continue to move forward, but we've got to create pathways for that 20% of kids that aren't making it. And I think we've got to really focus on the career pathway, because we're college and career pathway right now. But we have to get kids to have some relevance with their education. So why am I learning this?
Right.
We've got to draw the connection out in the community, out in the businesses. This is why you need to learn it. And I think we've got to create more of those opportunities for students.
Does it concern you about the amount of time kids have off from the school year? Does that concern you? Like in a few weeks, they're going to be off for 2.5 months or whatever. Does that concern you?
You know, that gets brought up time and time again. You know, I don't know if it's the time, it's the quality time that we spend when our kids are with us.
Okay.
And the opportunities that we can provide for children. Again, I work 12 months a year.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. I love to have the kids with me all summer long, because during the summertime, it's getting ready to start the new year again. And there's a lot of planning and preparation that goes. But I still have to sneak out to the schools to check out the summer school program, because I miss the children not being in there for July and August. So, you know, if that ever happened, again, that wouldn't faze a lot of us because we're there anyways. So.
Yeah, well, certainly our special guest this morning has been friend Jeff Pirozzolo, the superintendent, a few months ago named that very high, intense job, overseeing some 4,200 students. How's your job today doing, huh? But I got to leave you with a comment. I know you're new there, but and I know you sometimes bring in new teachers right out of school, et cetera, et cetera. I guess they're intimidated by the fact that a superintendent may be in the building. Do you ever sort of slip into a class unannounced and just sit in the back room and watch a new teacher do his or her thing?
Try to do it every day.
That's great.
And if it's not...
Are they intimidated when they see you in the back room?
You know what? I'm sure they are. But the kind of atmosphere that I try to create in the school district is I'm there for support.
That's great.
I'm not there
to
criticize. And our assistant superintendent, Leela George, who's our assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction, she does most of that work for us because that's her expertise. So we try to get as many administrators into those classrooms, but they know when I walk in, I'm there to support them.
That's great.
And to check on the children as well.
That's great. Well, Jeff, congratulations on the new assignment. Good luck to you and your family. And even though we're going to miss you move from Seneca Falls, I'm sure you'll be coming back and seeing us.
I absolutely will.
And I'm sure he's a positive influence. You could tell by the last 30 minutes. Him and his team will do the best job they can. And like I say, he'll stay up all night long to figure out how to get it done. So Jeff Pirozzolo has been my special guest. Thanks again, Jeff.
Doug, thank you for having me.
No problem. Okay, folks, we're off next Monday, but Tuesday, don't forget Del Lago's executive Jeff Babinski. We're not sure who else he's bringing with us, but we're going to talk Del Lago, baby. Roll those dice starting February 2017. Jeff Babinski is my special guest next Tuesday, same time, 9:30 a.m. For my friend Jeff Pirozzolo and Jimmy Senecrobi, this is a dog bidding you a farewell and enjoy the rest of the week. It's supposed to be gorgeous, baby. Get out and enjoy the weather.